Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hater plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding niggas out of line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably dollar sign. Got the energy to win it, my nigga, I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. I'm everything that they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police. Straight up to the top with bankrolls and rollies. Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ay, 12 can't really stop shit, so I'm still pushing like a mosh pit. Ice dripping, think I'm hot shit. In a yellow bucket with the mop stick. I've been jugging jams like wholesale. Everything must go sell. Hitting bitches with the old well. Need 100 million on the low scale.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Titan Esports. My name is Jay Better. I am joined today on the cast by Ozzy. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm having a pretty good day today. Ready for some League of Legends, of course, here, week 2. Excited. I don't really know a lot about these teams. I've really not seen anyone on these rosters play personally. So curious to see how they're going to perform today. How are you doing? Since you asked me, how are you doing today? Obviously, it's a little early for you, but how are you?
Yeah, I just woke up not that long ago, but I mean, it's a weekend for me, so weekend casts are always good. Yeah, I don't know any of these players either, so I'm excited to see what they have to offer, how these teams decide to take their draft. I think is always, pardon me, an interesting point. But I think that 80 carry has been a pool that has been pinched quite a lot, not only in higher tier play, but in every division. Kai'Sa banned away first. Things like the Jinx that these teams seem to prioritize quite highly. I still personally think that Varus is and should be like the low tier 80 carry, but he's not. Silas and Gwen banned away as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a big fan of the Gwen until she gets nerfed for her 8th time in a row. So definitely think Gwen still needs to stay banned. I think also J4, he's been kind of been a menace so far for some teams. We even actually saw it come out in DK versus KT where it just looked absolutely phenomenal. So Silas, I'd say that's a good ban. Maybe looking to possibly play in like a Victor or maybe Mel, as Silas really good into those matchups. So potentially an angle there for Seth. But it's going to be the Pantheon. Pantheon still very popular jungler, very priority driven in the drafts, just because of his honestly, realistically, he's kind of taken the place of Nocturne, I feel like, because of his global presence. He's just much earlier better. And point and click CC, there's no conditionality towards your CC as well, as it will be Jinx locked in here for Seth. Ahri going to be taken away here for Seth as well. I don't necessarily think picking Jinx this early is a bad thing, especially around Emerald, Plat, Gold, kind of the iconic 80 carry. But it will be the MF, as I don't know. I'm not getting MF vibes from Seth's comp, as to why you would want to play this, but maybe it is a Chewy Light special. But Vladimir is crazy. Talk to me about this.
I imagine here that I'm hoping for something like a Vi as the jungle match. But, I mean, Vlad can... Okay, Jinja Ari does make sense as well. I'm a big fan of Jinja, especially into MF. But yeah, this Vladimir, I mean, it can be flex, top, and mid, depending on whatever matchup you want to take. Considering that it's played into the Ari, maybe it's a comfort pick for Haumea. But it's hard in lane. It's going to have a very tough time in lane regardless of who it's against. It is not a lane-dominant pick. Against some melee champions, you can abuse the range. But you're playing Vladimir for late game. You're playing him for the monster that he turns into. And it does have a pretty decent time against things like Jinx, when if you can find Jinx, put ult on, go into that Mist of Blood, just one-shot her through it. It does also work well with Pantheon, not in a combo way, but just in like a teamfighty synergy way, right? Pantheon wants to get in there. Having champions that want to get in there with him makes a lot of sense. The Leona to take away from the MF makes a ton of sense. Could go towards the Braum now if you want for CGSS. Or, you know, just pick up the Rel, pick up the Alistar, pick up some form of engaged support. It is going to be the Braum against the Leona. Does pretty decently against the Jinx and the Ari. And I would imagine we're going to see the flex broken unless we've got some super cooking happening here. And it still remains a double flex. Shen top to lock in. So that Vladimir into the Ari.
Shen, really good right now, funnily enough. Kind of been sleeper for a long time, but after some much needed buffs, he's making his return as Cho'Gath's going to be the answer into it. But the highlight here has to be the Vladimir, right? If Vladimir falls behind, it's very hard for him to play. Obviously, he's a scaling champ, so expected to fall behind a little bit. But if it gets too far behind, you definitely look at potentially not having a mid laner this game, especially on something like into something like the Ari, where if it does get ahead, it can kind of take over the entire map that we have seen in the past. I also find it a bit curious that they opted to ban Seraphine Karma. I think Seraphine's okay. But realistically, I'm surprised they didn't want to try to take away Braum. It's good with the Jinx. It's also good into MF. And you already see like a couple of the short range champions, like Vladimir's not a long range champion himself. So it's not like Braum would have been too bad, as we are going to load up onto the Rift for game number 1 between Ceph and GCSS. As honestly, again, I haven't seen anything from these two teams just yet. GCSS, obviously, already winning their first series. Ceph losing their first as well last week. So still going to come down to execution here. Doesn't mean too much, obviously. Teams are bound to lose. I can't win them all, unfortunately. But yeah, honestly, I think Braum here would have gone crazy.
I think Braum for both teams ends up being a positive. It seems like a lot of the time Braum ends up becoming kind of like the crux of the draft for a lot of the teams who play it. It can be good on either side. But yeah, I am the same as you, worried about this Vladimir. Something that I talk about all the time is, pardon me, I know that there's CC that increases duration based on level. The Raptors having fun. That's what you like to see. Raptors having a good time here. The CC that increases duration based on level, but having CC in your kit as a default for Rept will just make you better even if you do get slightly behind. If Vladimir reaches, you know, max build, then that's a different story, but it's a difference between a carry and a control mage that Ari can get really snowball and fed, but, you know, so can every champion, right? Ari will always have more value just as a base idea because of the setup. Playing with this Jinx as well, who is the hyper carry of Ceph right now. Push going in favor of this Ari, Vladimir, like we were talking about. It's going to have a bit of a hard time. Bot lane. Bit of a level 6 Armageddon here. Leona, Braum, MF. The junglers as well. I mean, Pantheon, Xin Zhao. There's going to be some brawling. I imagine down on the bot lane, it's going to be starting here right now. Yuki finds Zenith Blade onto Chewy. Blocked away by Cypher here.
Really good trade. Really good trade there. Cypher, honestly, on the Braum, playing that very, very well. Blocking all of the Jinx damage there. So really well played so far from the bot lane of GCSS. That being said, Still, right? Because GCSS's comp is a little weird. Nice Q here, land from Sifra, but because it's a little weird, there's definitely a world in which Jinx just takes over the game. We've seen it time and time again, where one reset is all that it takes, and she just pentakills her way
Yes.
to the enemy nexus exploding. So does have that potential, but Vladimir could be a very big point of contention into that, because if she ever walks up into Vlad range or like engage range, she's gonna get blown up if the Vladimir's at all even or ahead. So if the Vlad can play well, then there's a lot of hope that they can prevent Jinx from getting excited. And honestly getting quite sad because she can't do what her champ wants to do. But the biggest thing about Vladimir is his reliability on his summoner spells. If he doesn't have Flash, or if he doesn't have Ghost, or if he doesn't have both, the way he has to team fight is so much harder. But Flash Zenith Blade coming in.
Chewy that has to use Cleanse to get away from that engage. Now he's ignited, can't remove that Cypher. Stand together to try to protect Chewy from this damage. Ploppy has rotated down too, continuing the engage now. Vlad has found a rotation down, MF with the first blood. How does Vladimir out-rotate Ari there?
OP, I guess. He just ghosts down. He just goes down for mid
He's
lane.
allowed to walk out of lane.
He just goes down mid lane. He's actually gonna be up in CS if he can get any of these creeps. So yeah, Ari late on the rotate there. Yeah, he will be up in CS as well off this play. So really, really fantastic play from Haumea here on the Vladimir to find an assist, not lose anything mid either, besides maybe a bit of XP. But honestly, for this play, you don't really care. But yeah, look at this wave state. Like Ari is getting shoved in by Vlad, which is just so crazy to think about. And he's gonna ghost down River here. As yeah, honestly, Atoshi needs to like run away here. Way too aggressive. Tries to like Pantheon is going to do more damage, but Flash in the top side.
Finds and becomes lightning. And does find the kill. Itochi. First to his name, but Ploppy has rotated over, knocked up, blocking the damage. Another Vladimir rotation. Haumea finds one. And Ploppy finds the second. Repped. Your mid laner is everywhere on the map right now except mid lane, and he's getting value.
The Vladimir rotating is it's kind of making me laugh to myself here, as you don't see this like almost at all. He is not a rotating champ, which is just so absurd to me. But another nice rotation here. As we get a replay of what's happening in the mid lane, like Ari is just simply getting out-shoved by a Vladimir. Maybe some uncomfortability in the lane, but this is a nice gank look here from Atoshi, because they do find the kill. Promac with a nice flash, buys a lot of time here, but yeah, overall, still really nice play, but really nice read and counter gank here from Ploppy, plus also Haumea coming in, so... Vladimir's on the board. He's participated in all 3 kills at 6 minutes, which is absurd. Nice trade in the bot side.
He's fighting everywhere. Zenith played in again onto Chewy. Blocked by a lot of the shield from Cypher. Finds a stun with the concussive blows here. Ipsy still continuing forward. Another Zenith blade forward onto Chewy. But this time he might have gone too far. Flash still gets the stun even through the buffer. Barrier will keep this Jinx alive, but not her support. 4-1 right now.
As I said, the Vladimir participating in every single kill. Unfortunately not able to, was holding down top lane, so couldn't go participate in that one. But speaking of kill participation...
he was going down there.
Yeah, speaking of kill participation, Poppy also. 3 KP here on the Pantheon. Another really nice read. Blocks Xin Zhao from being able to gank there. And, you know, Conduit here is kind of just overplaying quite a bit. In reality, their comp is really kind of just meant to scale. You're playing Jinx, you're playing Cho'Gath. a little too much presence in this early game, I think, or a little bit too much forced presence from Atoshi, as actually King of Spades looking to get ganked here by Ploppy.
Finds a stun even through the silence. Buffered through that. This Shogath is very tanky. King of Spades going to flash away. And the Q won't do enough damage from Ploppy. Forcing the flash is a very good trade here, but down on the bot side, CSF have started up this dragon. Pantheon does have ult. Ploppy can enter at any moment with the Grand Starfall. Once more, Hamir has rotated down, but repped first on the rotation this time. Zenith Blade in onto Sephra. He's been rooted up by everything. Hamir has rotated down. Sephra's fallen first. Ploppy finds a stun onto Rept. Flashes over onto the dragon pit.
Hamir died to Drake. I think he dies to Drake there.
A flash over the wall. Ploppy's taking down Rept. That's a tower, Hamir.
He is going to be okay, but GCSS with another big win. Looked a little scary, but Rept goes way too deep onto the MF to try and cancel any potential like bullet time. Doesn't have the damage at the moment to kill a full health MF. MF also having the cleanse up there as well. Should be more than fine to walk that one away. And it's a complete disaster for Conduit once again, and what looked like could have been a potentially good play here. And honestly, if they just commit to killing Braum here, they actually get Jinx to reset much faster here. As they don't find anything, but really nice stand united and Grand Starfall usage here from Ploppy and
oh, she's the dragon.
Yeah, like she flashes into the Drake pit and it's just gonna auto her down regardless, even if no one goes over there to kill her. But King of Spades getting ganked again as they were looking for it.
Just non-stop fighting over here in the top lane and the bot lane. Sorry, Ploppy looking for the stun, does find it. King of Spades trying to do what he can in the alcove, finds the knock up onto Promech. Hamir, a kill down on the bot side. GCSS running away with this game. Immune's on the charm there. Beautiful play from this Vladimir.
Yeah, honestly, not expected. Not expected at all to find these plays, as Versia needs to be careful. Is going to be fine. But yeah, this Vladimir is all over the map somehow. And that's the Vladimir. We're at 10 minutes in the game, and Vladimir has 5 KP. Completely...
And up CS.
Yeah, up CS as well.
He's still going.
And it's just, like, Protobelt going to be locked in here for the Vladimir. So we'll have that extra mobility, I suppose, as Promech probably going to go down here. Just going to buy himself some time here, but going to get chomped up here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll be chopped up. Oh, yeah, finally we'll but uses the flash very weirdly. It's gonna go down. Rev needs to be careful here, as how am I gonna have a lot of HP given back. So overall, GCSS in a really solid spot here to take over this game. Vladimir on the board. Pantheon's also very fed. Very far ahead, 3-0-3. Has the Eclipse online. Vladimir, obviously, with the first item completed. Honestly, surprised to not see the Dark Seal come out on the Vlad. Been making so many of these early plays you'd expect a Dark Seal, but no Dark Seal available as or picked up. It is picked up now as I'm mentioning it. So tune out of the cast, man. Tune out of the cast. As yeah, honestly, the GCSS squad has just so much power to them available right now. MF with a Bloodthirster completed. King of Spades working on.
Pathing up to top again once more. When becomes lightning onto Promech. Finds the knock up as well. Promech, no flash here. And he gets eaten one more time. It's 12 minutes in, Aussie. 8 kills to 4. Bit of pushback from from Seth here. About a 3k goal lead, 2.5k around about. One dragon to GCSS and the 3 grubs. Next dragon will be 1 minute and 30 away as this top lane tower gets shoved in and pings down on the bot to make a trade. Looks like a good retreat from Seth. Will just net some plates over to GCSS. As 1 minute, like I said, on this dragon. I mean, I think if you're either team, you're happy to give this up, but GCSS, they want to continue this stacking, keep pushing the game forward. That was a lot of plates that got taken there.
Yeah, but they're getting a lot of plates on the bot side. They actually pick up the entire tower bot lane. Excuse me. As Charm gonna miss from Rep. Rep down experience now as well. Really not a good look out of Rep so far in this match. Drake spawning up here in 50 seconds. So that will be the next point of contention here for these teams. If you're Conduit, I think you just completely don't fight this. You are not in a position to fight it. And you know Stand United is available as well. So that's even more added pressure, especially because your Cho'Gath already TP'd top. If Cho'Gath could have potentially TP'd there to answer, maybe there's a world they can fight. But realistically, I think they should just let this one go. Try to find some gold elsewhere. Maybe just like over-rotate top here. Try to get this tower down for themselves. Just give them some kind of gold back. But looks like nothing of that is going to be happening. Rept is actually so scared to walk up to this wave because he has no vision whatsoever. So really interesting vision control here from GCSS. And they're still clearing it out and still gaining it. So overall, GCSS still in a nice commanding lead here. Going to pick up the second Drake, or at least it's going to be started, since they're not going to be in the area. So I don't think there's going to be a trade back. Maybe they can find a play mid, though.
Looks like Itoshi is trying to find a gank while Ploppy's on the dragon, but it's fairly easy for GCSS to just kite down the dragon. I do like the scared nature of Rept. I mean, enemy team is guaranteed around the dragon. You know your weak side, right? Your jungle support is in top side, and they have a Pantheon, right? They could not be on dragon at all and waiting for you to go. Hitoshi as well, looking for something here in the mid lane, but Chewy and Cypher are playing really well, hugging this bot side. Remember, they do have a Pantheon. Dodges. You know, there's Zen played forward, Wind becomes lightning. The interrupt. Bullet Rain. Doesn't find a whole lot there. Shen coming down as well. Promech to join the fight. There's the Grand Starfall. Finds stun onto Yipsy. Vladimir under the tower. Halmia is putting on a Vladimir lesson here. Showing Seth why maybe it needs to be banned, or you need to learn the matchup at least. Rep can't let him get this far forward. Breaking this tier 1 in mid. While King of Spades takes out tier 1 in top lane. Herald on the menu for Ploppy now.
Yeah, also a Promech, I think, died in the top lane. Trying to use the stand usage. Yeah, so unfortunately does go down to King of Spades. At the very least for Conduit here, to get them some kind of positivity to maybe play around. Cho'Gath is now 3-2-1, right? He is going to keep scaling. It's not like necessarily GCSS has like some crazy tank killer, so they're actually trying to flank potentially here. Q is going to land onto 2.
Cleanse forced early, the knock up onto Chewy. TP from Rep to find more charm. Hits onto Promech. Zenith Blade finds the shutdown onto Ploppy. The dive is continuing under this tier 2 tower. There's so many knockups in this game. Cypher, too tanky with his shield up there. Rep dies the tower, maybe? Yes!
Oh no.
And Reppy does too. It's still charged, guys. Double kill for Cypher on this Braum. What is happening?
Well, that was a really solid find. Jinx going to find a solo tower in the mid lane as well. But as I was just mentioning about King of Spades on this Cho'Gath, finds a phenomenal play to get them kind of back into a more decent spot here, especially gold-wise. But they do kind of throw a little bit here, so we're going to get this replay. But they use the Hex Gates to their advantage. Really nice Q, knocks up 2. Flash forward as well, as he is just going to shut down the MF. They do kind of, unfortunately, need to overcommit here a little bit, but they keep wanting like the Braum, and they're just taking so much tower damage. It's still charged up, and yeah, look, Rep 2 tower shots dead. Yeah, like Leona just dies to the 2 tower shots as well. So they definitely need to be a bit more mindful when playing around the tower. But even with that mistake happening, it's still a very positive play for them. Gives Jinx some breathing room. But even then, Haumea on this Vladimir is 4-0-2, 156 CS. That is very, very, very scary if you are a Jinx having to face this Vladimir. Also 3 levels up on the Jinx at this point, so I do not want to be around this Vladimir at all, but they're looking to maybe pick him off or just get vision control. They're going to force the issue. Pool going to come out early, though.
Oh man, might be in a bit of trouble, but his team is pulled up behind. Itoshi engaged on by Ploppy, forced to ult to buy a moment. There's a lot of CC coming out from Yuki to completely split up this fight, but who wins this?
Oh,
Is
he gets
Hitoshi
it!
or is it's Hitoshi. The knockoff was beautiful, trying to clear out some of the wave as he knows Hitoshi is not living much longer than this.
I mean, it's a shutdown at the very like you get the shutdown. So trading 1 for 1 there when you were getting collapsed on, you take it, especially for Conduit here because it is a shutdown. Yeah. Gives Jinx some more farming time as well to herself. So very important find here for Conduit. Kind of caster cursed Haumea there just a little bit.
Yeah,
talking about how he hasn't died yet, but Mechai is going to be picked up here for Haumea.
1 stack on full book. I think that was such a great solar flare from Ypsi too. Completely nullified the engage. I mean, because Itoshi's walking forward and he's fighting Haumea. He's going to die after the kill regardless. But yeah, a shutdown is a really big deal. 10 seconds now on this dragon. This is soul point for GCSS if they get it. It is Hex Soul this game with MF, with Vladimir. That is a big deal. The AoE slows, the poke damage that can be utilized by this team comp. Vision is still getting contested. Rep clearing out some of their own, and GCSS walking in now. Promech does have ult and TP, so he can join at a moment's notice if need be.
Yeah, the biggest benefit of playing Shen is with the Stand United, you can also just side lane for so long. As there will be an engagement here, though.
King of Spades looking to eat it. Braum ult to try to stop some. There's the bullet time, but it gets knocked up immediately by King of Spades. Shen has TP'd over. Chewy finds the first on the King of Spades. Promech walking forward, tanking up the damage. Ploppy's committing to the dragon. There's the dragon. Soul point now achieved by GCSS. And the chase is on Ypsi, the first target here. And he might be the only target. Sacrifices himself so that Seth can remain alive. The important members, Ari and Jinx. Soul point for GCSS. 3 for 0. And Atacon might be next.
Yeah, this should easily be Atacon here. Nothing to steal away. Super Mega Death Rocket tried to pick up the kill on Promech and just barely not enough damage there. So, unfortunately here, for Conduit, they are going to lose the Soul Point Drake. They're going to lose the fight as well, and they're also going to lose this Atacon. So a resounding win here for GCSS. And honestly, with that being said, right, Seth just doesn't have the damage. Like, that's literally just what that fight looked like. They just don't have the damage right now to just eat through anyone in the front line. But also, more importantly, as we are going to get this replay here, watch what Rept is doing in this play, right? Like, you're playing Ari. Look where Cho'Gath is. He's getting so much space. Ari's just going to opt to just stand over the wall. Has Spirit Rush available, is not going to use it at all. And just trying to play Ari like a front-to-back champion. But that's just not what she's good at. You're not going to be able to get through the Shen. Just doesn't use any Spirit Rushes. And she's just going to go, like, it falls very low. Has very little impact. Obviously, as Engage coming out on the top side.
Floppy using that Grand Snarfall to take down King of Spades here. No Baron in the top lane. So just a quick pick off. I mean, this is kind of just as consolation prizes for everybody here. GCSS very much in the lead now. 5k. Soul point. 3 minutes on that next dragon. And around about the same time on this Baron. That next fight, if you're Seth, is super important. You know, you've got no more time to get Jinx online, to get your team fight prepared. And like you said before, Rept in that fight before, it's not the best look from the Ari. Finds Charm onto Haumea, who I believe was in Jinx traps. So it doesn't walk for, like, doesn't get charmed really, just continues to get stunned and rooted, whatever, you know, all of the things. And then can't commit any of the kit forward. The electrocute doesn't do enough damage. the biggest things as well here is there's just genuinely no anti-heal for Seth. There's a Bramble Vest on Yipsy, but is that really enough? How often is Halmia auto-attacking you?
Yeah, it's also kind of a bit of a bait because the biggest thing about Vlad is you need to just one-shot him. Anti-heal doesn't really do the job at one-shotting him because it's usually just worse statted items. So you are going to reduce a little bit of his healing, but in reality, right, like no one else on the side of GCSS is really healing that much anyways. It's just going to be MF auto attacks. And 9 times out of 10 is actually Rept is in big trouble here. Force the Spirit.
But his team is passing up the top lane right now. Promech forced to ult away, actually. Does he get it off? He does!
Yeah, ults to the mid lane. As King of Spades, Hamea just going to be more than happy to heal himself off of this massive health pack known as King of Spades. This bot lane tower definitely going to go down here. Really nice plays so far from GCSS. Really solid macro coming in from them here. But still, I think Conduit just really need to find a way to like get this Ahri to have some kind of impact. Obviously, 2 items being worked on and potentially finished here soon for Conduit, which will be basically their best attempt. Going like at any point in this game, this will be their best attempt to get themselves back into it. As Vladimir also already picking up the Cosmic Drive for himself and the upgraded boots, thanks to the feats. So Vladimir still a very, very big problem here for Conduit. But yeah, in my opinion, if you're Conduit here, I think you need to try to find a fight on your 2-item timers. Jinx now with IE. This is probably the best opportunity you're going to get without losing the game. So this next dragon, 20 seconds. Hextech Soul on the line here for GCSS. As Hamea actually in a very good spot to maybe flank here. They are getting kind of pinched. Need to be careful.
Floppy finds the stun onto King of Spades, and Halmia's walking in, but maybe caught out, forced into that pool early. Hitoshi trying to hard commit, but Halmia lives through. Like you said, there's not enough burst damage. I mean, Jinx does have 2 items, but Rept, he maybe just finished the Shadow Flame there, but was still a bit away last time we checked. Up in the top lane as well, Promech is just split pushing. GCSS, some great macro right now. They don't have to commit to it. Onto Rept. Floppy, maybe gone too far here. Falls down, there's a shutdown, but it's onto Leona. The fight continues.
Has flash.
Over from King of Spades, try to knock up this MF, but Chewy dodges it. Or was it a miss? Who knows? Halmia with another one. Continues forward and shut down once again. Chewy, everything is on you. Wind becomes lightning onto Braum, misses, but walks forward into the bullets from MF, King of Spades, to save this game. There's so much healing coming out of this MF. King of Spades, I mean, there's not really much more he can do here besides walk away and slowly get taken down. He doesn't have Eat anymore.
Oh, it's hits, though.
It will take some time.
Oh, he tried. He tried. I am
it'll take some time.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think you just try to kill him up there, but Promech didn't even join this. Had Stand United the entire time, didn't join, had TP. Had TP, Stand United just said, nah, I'd win. And his team did, in fact, barely win there, but a win is a win. As this will be Soul taken away here for GCSS. And what could be the game after this, because they're probably going to go try to do this Baron. And again, Conduit just doesn't have the damage. That is the biggest problem. This is the best point in their time that they're going to try to find anything. And they even started off catching Ploppy off instantly. Jinx gets a reset, but she's doing no damage to Braum. And the bullet time also covers her off as well. Forces her in a really weird position. Super Mega Death Rocket does miss on Halmea, so misses another reset. And because the front line is just completely leaving Jinx out to dry, both Cypher here and also Chewy on this MF find a very easy 1v2 into the Jinx. And there's now no summoners available for this Jinx. Halmea, though, also no summoners, so something to note. But I just don't see a world in which Conduit are going to be able to take a good fight here, as even King of Spades, who really is kind of their only member here, is down 2 levels on this Shen now. So still Baron being postured around in this top side. Definitely has been started here. Super Mega Death Rocket going to be eaten by Haumea, as there is an engage in the top side. Stand United going to be used.
It's stolen! It's been stolen, but I don't know if the fight is worth Haumea pushing forward. Chewy finds the double kill. Hex Soul is too much, and even though Itoshi is able to steal the Baron, GCSS are going to march down mid lane, and they're going to end this game.
Yeah, this will be the end. They don't need Baron. Just give that one over as a consolation prize for Conduit. A participation trophy, if you will, as they definitely participated in this match, but that's the best I can say is they participated. King of Spades, last line of defense here. 1v5 scenario, 2v5 scenario now because of Yipsy, but next it's going to fall here for GCSS, and with a steel fist, they claim this game quite handedly. Haumea on the Vladimir gets started early.
Yeah, massive mid diff the whole game. I mean, unfortunately, Reps couldn't really find any angles that game, do much of anything. And this this MF, that's definitely not the picks that we saw this game. That was the bans. I see. I'm stupid. Had a great game. I mean, it's really unfortunate, right? That you draft a Jinx for the idea that you're going to outscale something like an MF, but you're never given the time, the space. You don't get any dragons. This is the thing that I've been talking about quite a lot recently, actually, where you need, or you hope to get some early dragons, at maybe one at least, to give you more time to basically to scale, right? It gives you another 5 minutes of time for this Jinx to get items. But unfortunately, no dragons for Seth. They did steal the Baron. Good job, Itoshi. But GCSS, a dominant performance.
Yeah, very dominant performance here. And also as well, right? Like, I think Vladimir being able to take over the game like that is just borderline criminal, if not just straight criminal. Like, I just can't imagine a world in which Vladimir has 3 kill participation before 10 minutes. Not in his own lane. It's not like he got solo kills, right? It was across the map. Across the map. And maybe Rept is just not so comfortable in that matchup. So doesn't necessarily know like the capabilities of what Vladimir can do. But the fact that Ari is getting completely outshoved by a level 3 Vladimir when you're playing Ari, right? Obviously, Vladimir can be annoying, can heal himself up if you try to trade with him at all. That's why you just don't trade with him 9 times out of 10. Because he's just going to out-heal your mana bar, so you don't want to waste mana on trying to like trade into him unless you're confident you can kill him. But Rept needs to bounce back here. Obviously, has time to do so since we're, has a little nice little mental reset break coming up here. But I think GCSS with this game looks so good. Despite like Promech, I feel like Promech on the Shen could have done a little bit better, but outside of that, Ploppy always in the right spots. Also had the same amount of kill participation as Haumea. Haumea also rotating phenomenally here in the match. Shui didn't give anything back whatsoever. Had some decent bullet times. Obviously, it wasn't like those crazy like 10,000, 12,000 damage bullet times, but
yeah,
it was more than enough to zone off. That's a good usage of bullet time. You don't necessarily need to do damage, but basically preventing people from walking in is also a good usage. And also Cypher played the Braum very well here as well. So GCSS looking like the better team so far, but that doesn't mean much. Gebetto, it's up to you, man. What do you think? Can Seth bounce back here, or do you think GCSS is just that much better?
I think they can. The important thing is going to be finding comfortable matchups for Rept, and I'm not gonna say that the matchup in bot lane was uncomfortable. It's a bit unfortunate when you draft a winning matchup in mid if you're Seth, and then get out rotated all game, ganked down in bot, ganked up in top multiple times. We have to see if Seth can fix some of their issues in draft to even this game out 1-1, or if GCSS are going to take this set no contest. We will find out after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Titan Esports. My name is still Jay Better, and I'm still joined by Aussie. GCSS won that first match quite convincingly. Seth looking to bounce back here. They need some more comfort, Aussie.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on our break here. Rep looking very uncomfortable in this match, so hopefully able to find himself in a more comfortable position to contribute for Conduit. That being said, GCSS, such a phenomenal game played from them overall. Really didn't give too much back. I mean, there were a couple moments where potentially Conduit could have find a way to fight back, but aren't gonna find it. But Conduit need to find something in this draft too, between Conduit and GCSS here. As realistically, Seth have got to find a way to bounce back. I don't know if they're going to be able to here, because last game was a complete stop, but hopefully for themselves here, because this is week 2, right? You'd ideally want to try and put yourself 1-1. We also talked a little bit on the break, Gebetto, about the skill differences between the teams, rank-wise. That could be playing a part into it.
Yeah, it definitely could, but that's something you're going to have to do. And in my experience, genuinely the best way to get better, the quickest, is to play against people that are better than you and scrim them, learn from them, just get beaten. And you will get better as long as you take, the lessons that you learn from the games, the scrims on, and you actually practice and implement them as a team and as a player. Mostly same man, so he just needs. As a GCSS, now on red side, Seth have taken the first side, taken blue side here. They have a priority to go towards. It is going to be Ash for Versia. Maybe a bit more utility focus, not drafting as much late game hyper carry potential with the Jinx, but some early game punish. We're talking about the Nocturne being, kind of replaced by this Pantheon. Nocturne still picked up, and Oriana's available if you just want to slam that one too. Yeah,
but obviously to me, so far, GCSS opting for these more like global styles as Jen gonna come in. So Chewy being put on these like more, I mean, calling MF like kind of utility based is a little silly, but she's obviously not like the traditional AD carry, right? Same thing as Jen, or he's gonna be playing more longer range, like using his ultimate, not necessarily gonna be joining in fights all that often. So I think GCSS is really positioning themselves as a team that really likes like these like global or long range like capabilities here. With like last game, right, we saw the Shen plus the Pantheon. This game we're seeing Nocturne plus Jen with the Oriana, as you were mentioning. Yeah, Oriana very good with the Nocturne if you can time your Shockwave right. If you time it too early though, it's a little unfortunate for you, but a lot of submarine combo is going to be able to come out. Is Syndra going to be banned away here from Conduit? And Gragas is going to be the pickup here. Some flexibility. Some junglers pick him up every once in a while. But I honestly probably think it's going to go on the top side. Just a nice solid blind pick. Might be looking to save their counter potential here for their mid laner, as they will be able to, thanks to the Oriana pickup early. But Gnar and Set going to be locked away. So to me, it kind of maybe seems like this could be a Gragas top face off those bans.
Looking towards maybe a Poppy or an Alistair for support here. It's going to be Rakan, which does still work very well with the Oriana and the Nocturne. Oh, never mind. That's not a Gragas. It's actually a Graves. It has changed.
Okay.
Annie picked up by Seth here as they look towards finally their top. I think that this is actually better for GCSS. I think Graves isn't as strong. I thought, Gragas is going to create some disruption if he's able to get onto Jin and Oriana. Ornn is a good pickup. There's really nothing to kill on here. It does open up for like a Camille 10th pick here into this Ornn.
Or Fiora. Yeah, Fiora works just as well. Something about Conduit's draft now, that it is Graves and not Gragas, is Graves' ability to potentially invade here. But that requires usually requires priority here. And
we know.
because of what happened last game, I might find it a little scary to see if the Graves could invade, as we are going to load up onto the Rift for game 2 of potentially 3 here if Conduit can get bounced back between Conduit and GCSS here. As Rept, you know, we saw him on the Ari last time, but Andy, significantly easier, many would say.
Rating, though.
So, kind of surrounded on all sides here.
Hitting the jiggy a little bit. I reckon these junglers know they're just looking at each other right there. They're right next to each other. Poppy's emoting in a bush just to himself as well. Yeah, it is significantly easier to just press R when you have stun as Annie, or, you know, flash Tibbers if necessary. It's like Promech is walking forward to push out Itoshi from the bush. But it's just going to be a fleet proc and a walk away. Ploppy is actually the one looking to invade, and it's just going to be a ward. Find the jungle pathing. It's interesting when you ward that late and you're seen warding. Yeah, you know where Itoshi is going to be, but Itoshi also knows where you are because you can't run to bot side before it spawns. You have to start top side as well. So it's not really like you get anything crazy. I mean, I guess it's to stop the invade, to watch if Itoshi paths up on the ward. But so far, at least, the first trade in mid has gone pretty Almia favored.
Yeah, really utilizing the Orianna auto attacks to his advantage here, but you did mention it quite well, as yeah, the biggest problem is if you're going to get a deep board like this so late, as a jungler, they just know you have to start topside, because if you do choose to go bot side, you're going to waste so much time that you're going to be so far behind, so a little bit of a potential problem, but they do have mid prio here now, repped with the first priority of the entire game in the mid lane, so well played. Already looking better. Obviously, HP not looking too great, but still. Better look here for reps. More specifically around his jungler. So that's what I want to see here from Rep. Try to resolve those mistakes from last game. But overall, the biggest problem here for Conduit's comp is who side lanes into Fiora. It's not going to be Ornn. And I don't think Annie's going to be able to do it unless she just one-shots. Really nice W coming from Promech.
Oh, Promech looking comfortable on the Fiora, which is a rarity. And I mean, if you're picking up something like the Fiora, you kind of need to be confident on it. It's a bit scary. If I'm playing against the Fiora, I see, you know, getting a nice riposte and proccing the Qs non-stop. It's going to hurt. It is hurting the mental for sure. Seth really need to find things in this game. It might not need to be early, but other than the Ornn, they don't really.
As I think my friend here has lagged out. Happens sometimes, but I'll pick up real quick here. But yeah, it's flash forward onto Rip, or sorry, excuse me, onto Haumea. But guess what? Ploppy, just like last game, is here. At least forces out the flash on Haumea. And flash away from Ploppy means he's going to be feared away. No flashes used. Nice spell shift from Ploppy, and everybody's going to be licking their wounds, walking away from this play overall, as nothing to come of it so far. As very scary in the mid lane for both teams, but they're able to walk this one back. As Ornn on this top side has a nice, very large wave here stacked up. So
scale that well. Neither.
Oh, up. As
can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you are now back. Welcome back, man. You were talking about Ornn, but speaking of Ornn in trouble.
Caught out now by Ploppy and Promech. A great rotation. First blood onto a Fiora is not what you want to see in a counter matchup like this. I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't know why this keeps happening. To explain, my mic just my internet disconnects and I can't talk, but I can still see the game and hear Aussie talking. I can hear everything. I can still see the game, but my mic isn't getting picked up on my Discord. It has like 5,000 ping, and then I just reconnect and it's fine. So I saw the entire engage in mid. Yipsy now looking for an engage in bot, forces the cleanse, out of Chewy. Deadly Flourish will root up Venecia. Itachi finding a kill onto Promech, actually, the re-gank. Or I guess the opposite gank. Nice little pullback here in favor of Seth. A bit unfortunate King of Spades didn't get the kills. We will have another look up here as what happened. I mean, just caught out on the back. That's, what can you say?
Yeah, just overstayed. W not going to be enough. Tashi just takes that one for himself. But yeah, overall, Conduit is getting on the board early. Definitely looking for better plays. Bouncing Grenade actually going to do quite a lot of damage there. As Persia forced to pop the health pot already. Up 10 CS though, which is very, very nice here. So Conduit showcasing here at the very least that they were able to bounce back. No mental issues from the last game. As yeah, honestly, here I would definitely say that they're the underdogs in this match, but still playing to the best of their ability. Up CS in the spot side, up CS in the top lane. Down CS in jungle and mid though, so not necessarily the most ideal. So -1 as I just talked about being down CS.
I think he got that.
That's Promech.
Getting knocked up right here by King of Spades. Another gank by Itachi. Doesn't have ult, so won't be able to come in under the tower. Hamiya finds a solo kill on Rept. I mean, it looked good for the first wave, maybe the second, but after that, the trades from Hamiya are too strong. It only has tier and boots, and still is winning that heavily on trades. That will now net this bot dragon. Let's have a look here. Oh, I did miss it. That sucks. I thought I saw a +70 there, but I did not.
Yeah, he did miss it. But yeah, it will be Shockwave. No flash available, and he just gonna go down. Tibbers tries to fight back, but not enough. Drake also gonna be locked down here for GCSS, as it is again another positive play here for GCSS. And realistically, right, Rept struggling in the series. Now 0-1-0, also down CS. Trying his best though, and is on a champion in which, hey, you can be behind. Realistically, right? You just have that snap engage threat off of like Tibbers stun, so a bit easier to execute later in the game, which is going to help you out, right? So falling behind isn't necessarily the end of the world here.
No.
For them, but I will say, still Nocturne now level 6. Curious to see where the first Paranoia is going to go. Grub spawning up here in just a second. As nice parry from Promech.
He's just giving him the hand stiff a little bit here on the top lane. He's done a bit of CS, but I guess he has been ganked twice recently, so that makes sense. The thing about this Annie, though, losing this much mid-pro is look at the CS gap generated by Ploppy here. It is really building, and yeah, it has level 6 early, which is a huge deal. But he's genuinely like a solid amount of gold ahead, a solid amount of XP ahead against in jungle, which is really, really impactful. Now, Toshi ticks over to level 6 himself. And GCSS start up the grubs with very little contestation at all. Top prio, mid prio, support roam. Jin is so good at weak siding as ADC. You can basically never die for him. He can clear away from so far away if need be. But in mid, pings are coming out. Paranoia. Shockwave will find no one as Halmia falls down early, actually. Venecia finds one. Hitoshi finds another. And that's 2 kills over pretty easily for Seth.
Yeah, Halmia just very, very, unfortunately, falling down just like a fraction of a second too early. Shockwave does not go off, so the cooldown did not get used. Could have potentially turned it around for GCSS, but did not go off, as they find an excellent play in mid. Conduit fighting back here in the series overall, and I'm glad that they are able to find some plays like this into GCSS after what happened last match. Definitely giving Rept a bit of help as well. That's very good, a good thing to see, right? Is instead of just leaving Rept to just get bullied over and over, they're at least looking for opportunities to help Rept out. So showing off some really nice things. But Call of the Forge guy going to be used. Promech in danger. Where's the flash?
Ooh. King of Spades walking forward, still trying to find a solo kill here. One more auto will do it.
Oh!
And it will. Just bonks him on the head with the hammer. puts him in the ground.
Brutal proc there. Honestly, that auto range was like kind of a Bluetooth auto, in my opinion. But Ryan's gonna give it to him. Pro mech now, dying once again in this top side. A bit unfortunately. Obviously, Fiora needs a little bit of scalability here to take on the Ornn. Ornn opting to go towards what I believe is the Heartsteel for himself there. So interesting pickup. Usually you see Bramble Vest coming into the Fioras, but not going to be that this go around, at least not yet. As Ash Arrow flying in, and Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to find Haumea.
Stunned out. Itoshi in and the gank as well. Tibbers to layer the CC. Venecia. What is that ult? Beautiful timing. Deadly Flourish will root up Yipsy. Cypher finds a knock-up. Versia. I can't read this name, I swear. All the other ones are... I'm not having any problem with Promech. Looking at All-In King of Spades, but with those last two marks on the backside, he hugs the wall very well, King of Spades, and there's going to be no solo kill up in the top lane. Promech trying to continue to find, some aggression, but down a significant amount of CS. Like, it's not crazy. It's not, 20 plus, but in a matchup this one-sided, or is, pardon me, supposed to be this one-sided, not only are you down, but you can counterpick to this pick. And yeah, it's looked good. It's generated pressure, but I mean, maybe genuinely it's just a bit of, we've been talking about it a few times, a bit of hands diff on the CS. Itoshi back again. Haumea does have flash available, so will be able to get out if necessary. Shockwave and flash necessary there. Cypher has rotated in to help clear out this wave from Haumea, but Seth are fighting back. Dragon has spawned as well. And with no Shockwave and no flash, this might be an easy picking for Seth.
Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming back. Cypher going to be able to grand entrance himself away to safety. Recon, pretty slippery, so really no threat of going down there. But Drake number 2 on the board, and potentially Drake number 1 for Steph in the series. As they are looking to at least contest this, though.
Ornn's playing back away from the wave. Have a look. It makes me think that he might look to TP over, but I mean, you'd be losing a significant amount of tower plates there. Curtains have been opened, but there isn't really a target. I mean, Itoshi is doing the dragon. Only tanks one of those shots up. Engaged now onto Rev, but Tibbers is found on everybody. Paranoia turned the lights off. But Venezia walks forward, takes down Ploppy. The unfortunately kill goes over to Yipsy. Seth look really solid right now. Their team fighting is genuinely very connected. And although their comp, it's not the strongest thing I've ever seen in my life, but the Annie stun, Rept is really like, okay guys, my bad, I got diffed. I'm just going to play a setup, like a support mage. I'll stun Itoshi, you kill everybody. And it just is actually happening.
Yeah, it's happening there. And like, if we see here, also an excellent engage from Yipsy. 3-man, Crashdown Magnastar combo into like the Tibber stun. Like, the biggest part of Annie, right, is you're useful as long as you can kit dump. Even if you die, as long as you completely kit dumped, you're fine. That's exactly what Rep did. Rep got caught out a little bit, went really low, but still found the time to completely kit dump. Annie's done his job. And Conduit take over there, as still not really a lot of damage left over here for GCSS. As Drake number 1 of the series, and this game number
True.
2 going to be found for Conduit. For Conduit, so the big win here. And it is going to be the Hextech Drake individually. That's very good for their comp here. Helps Annie out a lot. Also helps out like Graves. So gonna be happy with picking that one up for sure. Still though, Rept does need to be a bit more mindful. Definitely don't want to get picked off here if you can avoid it.
Just uncharged, sir.
Yeah, definitely need to.
Abilities.
There we are.
There we go.
There we go.
There we are.
Huge. Has the stun available now. Also, Versia here with the the Enchanted Crystal Arrow play in the mid lane really set them up for success. Because I put Hamea a bit behind. Shockwave available now. Basically every up available at this point now. I say basically every single ult is available. Herald, a lot of presence here for both teams.
Wow.
Potentially a break-off fight, but hold that thought.
Shivers onto Plappy. Shockwave onto no one. There's no synergy right now for GCSS at all. Cypher trying to buy some time. Gravity Storm will pull in everybody. Herald has been taken. And make sure you got to get that, Atoshi. Deadly Flourish will root up Yipsy, who should be fairly safe with Flash available. There's some obvious misynergy in the comms. There's some miscalls, different opinions going forward about who's doing what. Unfortunately, that was a bit of an awkward play. The only damage on the team for GCSS right now used completely hitting nothing. Oh, this is risky. But he's going for it, finds a second hit. GCSS have no confidence to stand up at all right now. I mean, Herald won't take down the tower, but it'll half hit it. A solid looking performance from Seth right now, this mid game. I mean, they don't have a massive lead, right? It's not even 1,000. But they have something. They have fighting chance here, where last game they were completely shut out of the whole game from start to finish. Call of the Forge God coming out, knocking up Promech. And he'll just walk away. I mean, it's a good look, but no chase down onto Promech, who has flash and ult. He should be fine. Maybe getting Dove onto this tower. This is a bit risky. I mean, I know Annie has a stun here, but there's no one else around. Promech doesn't know that. Nice. Immune on the stun there. No counter-attack, no parry. But Promech will be fine.
I was a little worried that Conduit were going to try to dive the Fiora there. I've seen way too many montages of Fiora's outplaying that exact scenario. So thankfully, Conduit called that one off for themselves. Don't find themselves in a disastrous position where you put this Fiora back into the game quite handedly. But Hamea looking to get caught off. Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits! That's absurd!
One more time. Wow. Versia is accurate with these. Promech trying to walk forward, find onto Itachi, but he can't find the remaining marks. This is the issue with Fiora. It's so difficult in the team fights. Paranoia will find the last hit onto Itachi. The curtains have been opened, but is there any targets? King of Spades is walking forward, finds a triple knock-up. Somehow Chewy wasn't in there. King of Spades will fall down. GCSS are fighting back, continuing forward. Ploppy looking to find the fear, flashed away from Versia. Cypher finds the knock-up. Bit of cutting here and there, but in top actually repped. I mean, he had TP. He could have been down here.
It wasn't up. I was watching this cooldown.
It was
not
just
up
came up?
Yeah, it just came up a little bit as the fight dissolved there, but the benefit of Paranoia is if your comms are bad playing into it, it's so hard to fight here. Versia was so scared to walk up after the Paranoia. Like, this... Like, the fact Hamea gets out here is criminal.
Oh.
This is such a good Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but Saris just gives him just barely enough HP to lift this. And still, it doesn't matter, as just like, they just really don't have damage. Itachi overcommits really hard to try and convert that Hamea. Gets picked off by Paranoia, but like, look at Versia here. They're so scared to walk forward. But so like, King of Spades just takes such a massive chunk, and there's no damage follow-up, right? 3-man knock-up. Because they were trying to, like, maybe help Itachi there, but it doesn't matter. As Drake, number 3, started up here and potentially just straight up picked up. Conduit find themselves a freebie here. No contest whatsoever. Obviously, ult's not available for GCSS. As Enchanted Crystal Arrow also used, gonna be missed though, as big engage in the mid lane.
Storm finds some, but not everybody. Cypher finds the charm to peel away as a stun. Onto Ploppy, falls down after flashing, unfortunately. Cypher can't do anything but watch. Up in the top lane, Promech is still pushing, but yeah, there were no ults for that dragon fight. And Seth, they just walk forward and say, hey, you guys want to fight in mid instead? And they say, yeah, sure. I mean, that sounds like a good time. Mid tier 2 now cracked open. A big amount of gold getting injected into Sephra. And Toshi just snipes away Sephra there. Promech finally with the solo kill in top lane. I mean, GCSS are finding small wins here and there, but Seth cracking this mid tower. Glad they don't try for the inhib. And still, even after all this, there's not a huge gold lead, right? It's only just under 2k. But this Graves, he's becoming a bit of an issue. These items are coming on board, and Versio with these enchanted crystal arrows, they've been hitting.
Yeah, last one obviously did miss, but that doesn't matter. They are hitting majority of the time, and that's what matters, especially in like bigger moments. Obviously didn't pan out in that team fight on the bot side, but the fact that like honestly the fact that Conduit keeps finding these like good wins is such a good thing for them, because they're basically ahead, right? They don't really have like necessarily the best game control so far on the map, but like even vision control I think has kind of been lacking. But even then, they're still finding really big wins despite that. And despite potential skill differences here, they are definitely bouncing back in this game too, where they definitely need it. As Baron being hovered around, not even up though. Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto the Paranoia though.
And he can still find the dash here. And everybody piles onto Versio. Poppy falls down, but so does this Ashe. Cypher will be the next target. TP in from Rept. And it's late. Doesn't even necessarily flash. Tip to find the stun. Cleanse from Chewy. And the knockup will find both of them. Harmia falls as well. Versio finds a great Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto Ploppy. Entire team of GCSS piles in on this 80 carry. And they find Versio, but they also find the Graves.
Like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow there literally buys Versio enough time so he doesn't get one shot by Shockwave. Because after the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, it like straight up means that when he does eventually get Vision to ult Ashe, he's going to be out of range of Syndra. So Shockwave wasn't able to be used there, and Versio lived for so long. And because they deathballed on top of him, Yipsy finds a very nice counter engage there to buy Versio so even a little bit more time. And Rept gets there in time to Tipper stun them. And it's a very big win once again for Conduit. They find the Atacon. Honestly, that play looked a little desperate from GCSS. Like, they had all of the positioning. Just a little overforced there. I still want to highlight, though, in this matchup where Ornn still no anti-heal in the Fiora. And also opting to build Heartsteel into her is not necessarily the best idea. So he's kind of not able to sit in the side lead with her very often. But Conduit looking like they want to take us to a game 3. Definitely look hungry for it. Hamea may be scarily in a position to get caught, but is going to be okay. As Yipsy, they know you're there, buddy.
They see you. You're still fine for the vision.
Yeah,
see, I love the support vision battle later on in the game for League, when supports basically just turn into like, okay, I flash, press my R or engage button, then die, and then I just fight the other support for vision all game. It's such a great mini game that the supports get to play up in the top lane, actually. Proma continuing to find all ins here. Down in the bot lane, though, Deadly Flourish will hit onto one. Wow, the quickness hits everybody! The charm is good! And the curtains will find the damage necessary. Versio can't do anything here. Out of nowhere, the engage comes through. Call of the Forge God will knock up a few. Immune by Ploppy, Spell Shield. That kind of just happened, Oz.
Yeah, as we were talking, literally like no ults being able to be used. The Shockwave Paranoia combo finally comes out and makes a very big difference there. Both Rept and Atoshi dying at the basically exact same time. As GCSS find a nice way back into the game here off of a massive misplay. Basically, Rept. If Rept just presses ult there, this could look entirely different.
Oh, beautiful.
But Cypher
beautiful engage from Cypher there.
Just so beautiful.
Disgustingly good.
Yeah,
and Jada Casero finds a target again, actually.
Yeah, and really just well played overall from Cypher there to set his team up, but Rept just should have just pulled the trigger there, right? Like, he can be snap engaged for his team, just doesn't do so. And it spells disaster for Conduit. As we were just talking about Conduit looking quite good in this match. That mistake could be a very costly for them now as GCSS with a gold lead. And bye-bye, Versha. Walking forward.
Fluffy once again using the combo. Deadly Flourish will root up Yipsy. And it's only one in the kill feed, but not on the objectives. Baron is being looked at. Quickness does connect onto Rept. Not for too long though. Gravity Storm.
Oh.
Actually, this fight's getting turned around. Sefa found 2, continuing the chase forward. Flashes. Chewy falls next. Almia, 1 health. Yipsy Q flash forward. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a support kill. These top laners, by the way, they just don't want to join the fight ever. They've both got TP here. It's like a game-winning team fight. Neither of them TP. They walk too far forward, Oz.
Yeah, they walk too far forward. The biggest thing is every time I feel like GCSS has lost the fight, it's because like Versha is just the bait. Or someone on Seth is the bait, right? We saw it earlier where Rept was kind of the bait and it completely turned the fight around. But it's kind of like twice in a row now where Versha was the bait for specifically like the Nocturne Orianna combo, and it's completely gone in the way of Conduit's favor as a really nice execution here. Even with no Versha, they just do so much damage. And yeah, they're just even GCSS are completely caught off guard as to what just happened because they were actually positioning like walking forward to keep chasing. But complete disaster here as King of Spades. Speaking of complete disaster, his health bar is in a complete disastrous state as he's getting solo killed here. Yeah, kind of the problem with the side lane matchup.
That's unfortunate. No TP still. Like, you know, we're just going to continue to side lane over here. To be fair, King of Spades has done a pretty decent job of keeping the Fiora from, you know, cracking the base. Cypher forced to ult there to peel Chewy away from the engaged Matoshi. Chandler Crystal Arrow sails past out the window and hopefully did no damage to any civilians.
Yeah, I might have seen it just fly past my window just then, but Fiora looking to get engaged on potentially. They are wrapping here with 3 members on top of Rep chasing down as well. I've seen Fiora's counter this if they want to. No parry coming out just yet. Comes out late.
No ult available. Does flash away. Very nice flash. I mean, no ults used. Threat from Seth. So realistically, it's not the worst thing. Oh. There's the 1-2 combo onto Versia once again. Paranoia shockwave, but here comes the Forge.
Oh my goodness.
Knocking up everybody. It's buying some time with the slows. But I don't know if Seth can catch up. Oh, pardon me. Hiccups. I don't know if Seth can catch up right now. All kiting out together is GCSS. Deadly Flourish won't hit anybody. Rept has a great position here. Found an angle behind. Only stuns 1 with the Tibbers. Plappy rooted in 1 HP. Rept into the Zhonya's Halmia. No ult. Can't continue this fight. Deadly Flourish once more will miss. Cypher falls down. And poor Chewy caught out trying to assist his support will fall down as well. Oz, this game is falling away in bot lane, yes. Promech is pulling an inhib. But is it really that worth it? I don't think it is.
I mean, they did use quite a bit there. Flash not available now on the Nocturne. Paranoia should be back up before the strike respawn, so not going to be a big issue here. They can choose to fight this, right? No Tibbers available for the strike is something to note. But even then, Conduit doing a very good job. I thought that maybe the overchase was going to be a little bit too long, but they find basically everyone there. So fantastic job from Conduit. And they only lose their bot inhib, so could be worse. TP coming in from Reps now into the pit here. Tibbers gonna be up here in maybe 10 seconds, so Drake number 3 gonna be used as they are going to just opt to give this one away. Or sorry, Drake number 4 of the match, but Drake number 3 for Conduit. As Rept really wants this Nocturne of Bloppy, as Rept still jungle POVing a little bit here on the Annie, but nothing to be found yet. As a soul point claim for Conduit. getting some objectives now in the series. Quite nice for them. Nice to see a nice change of pace.
Soul point for Seth is pretty strong. You know, it's a good position. They don't really have to overcommit. They are committing, actually. Knockup finds everyone. Gravity Storm once again. The circles from Seth are just too much. Cypher forced to ult away. Promech TP's in to watch his first inhib fall. I don't think Seth are done, Oz. They're walking forward still. No Baron anymore. 1 minute 30 on the respawn on that, but they don't seem like they care. These Nexus towers are falling down. And GCSS, no ults available. Flash stunned from Rept and forced into the Zhonyas. Maybe a bit of overcommit here. Promech finds the first onto Rept, and now the chase is on for GCSS, but and it's a bit risky to continue going for. They crack the base open, but don't end the game just yet. Also, yes, pings coming down the bot lane. Those super minions are trading back a tower, actually. So for GCSS, it's not terrible. The issue is, these fights, I don't see a world in which these fights start going better.
Yeah, we saw in that fight that Hamea actually hit a 3-man shockwave and it did basically no damage. So that's kind of the unfortunate bit of Ori. If you're playing,
there's no pen, either of them.
Yeah, like playing for this position. Obviously, it did hit onto like the tankier members of Conduit, so it's obviously still going to do quite a bit of damage if it's connecting onto like Versia. But even then, Conduit's playing very well in this match. They did in fact lose their bot, or sorry, they lost their one in Nexus Tower, so need to be a bit more mindful and a little bit overforced from Rept, as it does go down there, but still, they're still in a favorable position. Baron spawning up, though. They don't have vision control, which is the most important bit here. No vision control available for them. This is very scary to walk through, but thankfully Hawkshot going to come through, so at the very least they know they are not on Baron. Benefit of Ashe is you being able to use Hawkshot, as they're now running around as a squad here to get some vision back.
Yeah, Yipsy has to be so fed. 3 items on support? That's unheard of. What is this? This guy has 3 items? Oh, this guy's rich.
Yeah, very rich, but also someone has to back to answer these waves and bots. And as soon as they show on this wave, this could be a potential disaster for for Seth if they choose to start the Baron. Rep's the one who goes back, doesn't have teleport.
On Rep.
Ploppy though,
face checking King of Spades right now, who pops this Forge God. This fight doesn't look good for GCSS at all. Ploppy falls, Shuey falls, Hamea will be next. And Aussie, the counter pick at the end of the game. I mean, it finds Versia here, but it's not on the Ornn. The Ornn, there's nothing to kill this Ornn outside of the Fiora. And you are right, they can just start Baron or take a great fight with, you know, the Orianna Nocturne, with the quickness from Cypher. Instead, Ploppy just walks forward, face tanks Ornn.
Yeah,
and we're going to a game 3.
Yeah, TP's used up here, and where did Cypher go? Back to base, I guess. And back to the lobby, because we are going to a game 3, as you mentioned. Seth fight back and just get over the bar there. I wouldn't say they struggled. Definitely not necessarily the cleanest of wins. But after the first game, Conduit with a well-earned victory in this game 2, and showing they can fight back. Honestly, for me, the highlight, right? Ret on something like the Annie.
Yeah.
Obviously, got picked out a bit. You know, played, got solo killed in mid lane early. But still, Annie is Annie. Just get dump. You'll be fine. Yipsy also on the rel. Such phenomenal finds with the Crash Down, with the Magna Storm. I was a little worried with the Ornn as well, because it kind of looked like they didn't really have an answer for the Fiora, but Conduit just won the fight so handedly. They didn't need Ornn there half the time, and find themselves tied up 1-1 here.
The question now is, what does rep go towards? There's no more any. So you need to find something similar, a similar mage that's going to allow you to set up for your team. And it was super impactful. I love the look from Versia 2 on the Ashe. The Ornn did great in the top lane. And Natasha and his Graves, I mean, I was a little bit questioning how was the Graves going to go, but with Rep's performance, it had, the Graves had enough space. So at the end of the day, at the end of the game, it looked really good. In a lot of fights, it was the damage that was necessary. The series is tied up 1-1 Oz. These two teams are going to be battling for this final game, which, again, what is it? Second seed versus seventh seed right now? I mean, I know it's only early days, but still, that's impactful. And we were talking earlier, the ranks. There is a big rank disparity between a lot of these players. Bit of a mental reset, some draft preparation required for this last game. And we'll go to a short break, and then we'll come right back at you with their final game of the day. See you in a few.
like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh 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 crazy oh 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 crazy crazy oh oh crazy oh 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy do 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 crazy crazy do do like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh do do like do 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 like do 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 crazy oh
Hello and welcome back. As you can see here, it's just going to be me. Gebetto is currently doing something, but I'm sure he'll be back quickly. Game 3 between these two teams, Conduit and GCSS. GCSS had a bit of a rough one in that last game where Conduit got over the bar. They beat GCSS in a honestly pretty convincing manner. Verja really setting up the team for success with some early enchanted crystal arrow snipes. Also, Rept playing a bit of an easier character, a bit of an easier lane, able to show up big time here when Seth needed it most. Atoshia on the Graves as well, played fantastic. King of Spades, bit of a rough one, but playing Ornn into Fiora. Didn't necessarily like his build path, but so be it. Talk more about GCSS is, for a lot of the game, looked like they were just not on the same page. Finally started to pick it up a bit in the early game, or late game, but too little too late. Getting into the draft, though, of Game 3 between these two teams. Gwyn, off the board, been a consistent ban here. I think Gwyn is a phenomenal ban anyways, so I'm not going to be too pressed with that being banned away. But Silas going to be banned away here. That's been a consistent ban here as well. Don't want to let Haumea get that Silas pick. Kaisa staying the same here. Don't want Bersha to have that Kaisa, it seems. I'm curious how GCSS bounced back, because somehow Conduit last game had such a more difficult comp here. Like they had such a difficult comp, but they executed it so well that it just wins them the game despite any kind of mistakes they made. And honestly, on the back foot here, the underdog, Senna banned away, Syndra going to be banned away. I don't know what to expect for a first pick here. I'd honestly really like to see like a Varus angle come out for Chewy here. Gonna be the Mel lock-in here. Haumea having a fantastic game 1 on Vladimir. Also some flexibility. Some supports really like to play Mel support. Especially now that Emax, but Sari locked in for Vergia here. For Conduit Esports. Gonna have to see if that one's going to be a good pickup, as Wukong still on the table, still a good consistent jungler here. I don't necessarily dislike Wukong. Xin Zhao off the board, off the table, Pantheon off the table as well, because this is Fearless as a reminder. As yeah, Volibear gonna be locked in as an answer. Volley been getting a bit more popular here in the jungle role. Playing like the older top lane build where it will be the Gnar locked in here for Promech. Promech played Fiora last game. Didn't really do too much. Obviously did quite a bit of tower damage, but even found a couple solo kills on Ornn, but was ultimately meaningless as Malphite is going to be the answer in for Conduit. Conduit are not playing around here. Wanting to lock this one down for themselves, get themselves their first series win. Of course, this is week 2 of the Olympus League. Nami banned away here. I guess also Mel could potentially be flexed 3 ways if Chewy plays it, but I don't necessarily think Mel APC is that great between the other 2 roles. Seraphine though banned away again once more for GCSS. Nico's such a consistent support right now. That's why she's on the cards of getting nerfed in this next patch. Round 1 of the MSI patch coming out very soon. A lot of big changes. Milio locked in here though. I really like this look from Conduit. It pairs really well into any potential Gnar engage. It pairs really well into Volley. But it comes down to what Rept is going to play in this mid lane. It's going to be Bard for GCSS. The Gauntlet team here opting for Bard. And it's going to be Kali locked in, so it is APC. Mel here, and with a Kali going for Haumea. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see Rep pick something. It's going to be Talia Talia quite strong into a couple of their champions. Akali, it's really good into Akali, really strong into the Gnar. But Rept, looking like the worst mid laner here. So we'll have to see how he plays this match. Has struggled a bit, especially more so in like the solo ability in the mid lane. Falling behind quite a bit in the series, but doesn't matter. Game 3, able to step up in an easier matchup, hopefully for himself. As this Seth comp is very strong. Very strong. I do not necessarily like this Malice. We are loading up onto the Rift for Game 3 between Conduit and GCSS here, as I'm also joined back here by my friend Jabetta. Welcome back, buddy. You only missed the draft, so didn't miss anything important.
Yeah, my bad. I was getting yelled at by Titan After Dark. Don't go watch that. Grr to those people. No, do. Sorry about that, everybody. Didn't expect this game to go to 3.
Uh-oh!
Did
Rept
fight
is just
already,
dead.
actually. Rept. Flash forward. And the Ignite as well from Sephra. This is wild, actually. We were just talking about, on the segment for how you feel about Bard. And I mean, there's a Bard in this game. Mel bot lane as well. What is happening in this game?
Yeah, very weird draft, but Rept getting punished for having fun in the mid lane the last 2 games. Finally gets punished for it. Opts to not flash early either, to not just straight up die, but goes down. First blood going to Ploppy. No flash available for him, though. As Rept still looking. Also didn't get any of those warped grounds placed down before lane, which is a bit unfortunate for himself here, but it is Talia into Akali, so should be able to fare quite well into it. Nice Q, or enhanced Q there, off the warped ground to find a bit of poke damage on a Haumea, but still, I think a big proponent here for GCS's. Yeah, look at this trade back actually from Haumea, using the electrocute. So as a good stun up by Ipsy.
Yeah, this electrocute poke is going to be an issue. Level 2 now procced as well makes Akali's lane a lot easier. And I imagine that this Malphite is going to go tank, as you know, this is an ARAM. But I'm worried that this Malphite isn't going to die this game. I mean, if Mel can cast for long enough, sure, and has the right build, but is Malphite really letting you cast long enough? Like, he's just going to jump on top of you. What happens if you reflect Malphite? Do you just throw him back?
You can't. You can't reflect it. A, he's unstoppable. B, it doesn't count as a projectile, although it would be funny.
Why doesn't it count as a projectile?
It does not, unfortunately, count as a projectile, so it won't get reflected back. But the biggest problem here, I think, is more so that Zeri's just going to be able to free farm the entire lane. Obviously, taking quite a bit bad trades here, but it realistically doesn't matter. So I'm just surprised here that GCSS completely opt to give the Zeri a free lane, because if I remember correctly, this was a R1 Zeri. As Rep's getting ganked once again, probably not even going to use flash. Does block back the tower though. The cold has TP available, so not going to be too bad. Should have tier gold at this point, so should be chilling. Yeah, it has tier gold, so
Nice.
is more than okay. This is basically right around the base timer Talia usually takes anyways. Just pick up the tier, go back to lane, but nice solid find anyways to at least force Talia out of the lane. Also down in CS, but should be able to even it up a little bit here as Rept picks up this wave. Pretty cold. You are on a ward, Atashi, so it does need to be mindful of this.
Ooh, careful. Taking a lot of poke there. A little rooted up, Atashi is, but gonna get out with that campfire. I'm a bit confused about this Bard pickup because I don't think it really has the best time this game. It does have a great time into Talia, so if you just want to bully Rept out, Bard makes a lot of sense, but against Zeri, I don't know if Bard's really what I want into Zeri. I'm not sure if there's any real hard lockdown for Versia right now to stop the Zeri doing it, like, what she wants to do late game, right? Scale into infinity, not infinity, you know, scale into the stars and tear through GCSS. There isn't really a strong tank to mitigate the Zeri's potential, like Volibear, Shaw, Gnar in Rage form. But you were talking about it, Zeri's just going to get a free lane in here, especially with the Milio. Milio Zeri sounds terrible beyond 6, but considering that you're playing with a Bard, this Mel's going to have a hard time keeping mana up. Obviously has to get the TP for that as well. Versaria has the chance to really take over this game if given the opportunity.
Yeah, has the coal purchase now as well, so definitely opting to go for the scale. Makes a lot of sense. As King of Spades getting caught out potentially by Ploppy, but it is Malphite with 6. So gonna be able to just straight up run away. Pop a health pot, doesn't care. It is Malphite. Wukong also making his way towards that. He is kind of down in XP right now, it appears. He's down like an entire camp at the moment. So is off tempo quite a bit into the Volibear. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world for Wukong. Not like Wukong's going to be looking to get active. As Rep, once again, gonna get a really nice seismic shove there, though. As Rep just getting very hard focused here by Cypher. Making sure that Haumea is going to be in a favorable position, but the wave is going to push back into him. So Rep's not going to lose anything. Maybe 1 XP here. 1 creep XP.
Nothing.
He doesn't. He loses nothing here off of that play. So really well played from Reps to just chill. Loses quite a bit of CS, but...
He's losing a few.
Losing quite a bit of CS, but at the end of the day, does have the Weaver's Wall online. But they are collapsing on Atoshi. Does hit the smite. Should be able to walk this one out. So...
And Wukong's so safe, right? Is able to get away fairly easily with that clone. Dragon has spawned, and neither team seem like they really want to take it. Nearly 7 minutes into this game, and there's a bit of a decent gold lead off of that first kill. Never mind. I guess Malphite flash ults, pulls Promech's flash, and finds the solo kill under the tier 1 tower. And it's still not going to, get a dragon off of that, but it will even this goal and make it very close. Flash ult from Itoshi, finds the knock up onto both. Chewy doesn't opt to flash at all. He was completely out there if he just ulted the second hit of Wukong ult.
Yeah, could have flashed away. Also, Ploppy was there for counter gank. Opts not to flash though and falls down. This does put a lot of pressure on this dragon, but we are going to get a replay of that topside play. Malphite, I assume, is just basically going to say, as Kali looking for a solo kill, flash forward, does find the solo kill in the mid lane. Malphite going to say, you will lose here, though. Flash auto attack there. We'll secure it, but this is going to mean Haumea will die for sure. Going to try to give the kill to Versia. It looks like, yeah, this will be a kill going to Versia, I think. Doesn't even need to flash. And that will be Feat of Warfare. Claimed up here for Seth. And they're going to turn their sights back towards this dragon. Potentially. I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. They did use a lot of time. King of Spades hasn't backed yet. So still low after that dive. Gets bullied out a little bit here.
Greedy dive there, Ozzy. Like, do you need to dive tier 2 to shut down Rep this early and sacrifice yourself? You're giving a kill over to Zeri. It's not worth. I don't see a reason why you would need to flash under the tower ult to try to kill Rept, even though you get the kill. It doesn't really mean that much. If I'm Rept in that situation, I'm super happy to take that death. Not happy to take this one, unfortunately. Face checks the brush, no flash. Push on the tower is nice, but good gank from Ploppy there. And Haumea, Sephra playing well together. Bard, still no ult. No Tempered Fate still. Dragon being started up finally at around the 9-minute mark. Yipsy is in the area, but that's a Milio. There is no chance this Milio walks forward, right? Please, don't try to steal. You will probably die.
It's going to walk away. And they're going to Bard Portal out. So they find themselves Drake number 1 in the series will be the Hextech. We have seen the Hextech Dragon in every single game, by the way. So every single game will be... we'll have seen a Hextech Dragon. Game number 1 was Hextech Soul. game number 2 was a Cloud Soul, but Hextech Dragon making his appearance in all 3 games here. Saying hi to us as a potential gank. Again, coming in from the bot side. Tashi is looking for it, doesn't find anything. Just barely got seen on the ward there right as it died. So won't find anything. Another big thing here is Grubs being started up here for GCSS. As they saw the Wukong bot lane, so they are going to lose that objective as well. And looking like a bit reminiscent of game 1, where it looks like Conduit really not respecting objectives being back up. And kind of just ignoring objectives or not playing that well around them. So they will lose these 2 early game objectives, unfortunately. As Volley looking for an invade.
Item from King of Spades here. Just full AP bot side. Frozen Heart first item against Nah. Like, what a Chad. He isn't team fighting at all. He is purely playing for the lane. His invade might be happening. Sanfra still doesn't have ult. Toshi force ult early. Maybe a bit too aggressive, a bit too early on the ult. Still has the second hit, but opts to just give the buff away and walk away. I think that's a...
I think he dropped again thanks to his internet, but that's okay. I'm back, and that's fine. I'm still here. We're still gaming. Toshi forced to use the ultimate to get the boost speed there, just to avoid the stun or the slow coming in from the Volibear. Haumea still doing okay. This is what I was going to bring up next. Is this play from Yipsy? A lot of pressure has been on this mid lane for Rept this game. And his team's kind of just left him be to just soak it all and kind of really not answering anything back. But now that Zeri's in a much more stable position, I'd really like to see Yipsy just help Rept in this matchup overall. As actually really nice seismic shove backwards. No ultimate on Toshi though. Haumea might be able to outplay this. Does ult away. Gonna be able to R2 over the wall. Finds himself just okay. As still good pressure being applied onto Haumea from Itoshi, and this is what I want to see for Rept, but Itoshi gonna be gone in here, doesn't respect anybody being here.
Well, he finds the ult onto Itoshi, immunes the tower. Rept, oh, good shove away, lives, keeps his life. That was really nice, little micro play there from Rept, 1 health. Yes, I am very sorry. I have no idea what is happening. I can still hear you the whole time and see the game. Like I said, I have no idea why it's happening. I was in the tied off the dark thing. It happened twice in 20 seconds. I DC'd, came back. I got asked another question, DC'd again. I don't understand. But hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I'm back.
Yeah, you are back for now as... Still, GCSS, so much pressure being applied around this like mid lane in general that I'm just really shocked that still Conduit are kind of disrespecting it. Bard has almost always been mid lane here. Poppy also himself hanging around mid quite a lot, and they still are getting basically surprised the fact that they're there. And kind of comes down to comes down to just bad vision control as well. Coming out from Conduits, not being aware of where people are necessarily. We still haven't seen Weaver's Wall used for Rept. Hasn't really made any rotations. Man, my brain just did not want to work there. As looks like...
Is that me? No, it's not me.
No,
okay.
we're fine. We're fine.
I was like, not again.
Yeah, we had a little bit of buffer on our end here, but all good. We are back. Haumea is going to eat some poke here. No Shroud available. As still, this pressure around the mid lane is killer for both sides. Both teams really wanting control over this mid lane. This Volibear, though, 3-0, Gibetto. 3-0. Building towards the second item here. Already has the Cosmic Drive. Very scary.
So is it Triforce next? Is that what he's building into there? I'm not quite informed on the Volibear build. Cosmic Drive into Sheen item. So maybe it's Lichbane, but surely that sounds bad. Ploppy
Yipsy
catching Yipsy with a stun there. The kick away is good and will keep him alive for just now. Bomb plant over is not enough. Popsy flashes and Not actually sure what got the kill there. Maybe red buff? I don't know if the flash was necessary, but
Red buff,
the kill onto
smite.
Yipsy. Yeah, you're right. It might have been smite.
It could be Iceborne Gauntlet, by the way, to answer your question. Iceborne Gauntlet is kind of
true.
typical, typically what's going on Volibear. Interestingly enough, though, Itoshi opting to build the Ravenous Hydra first onto Wukong, not something I've seen. Also opting for Red Smite here. Instead of the Blue Smite, which is pretty atypical, I would say. But Dragon number 2 taken for GCSS here. Gonna be happy about that one. Still, a lot of pressure around this mid lane. Haumea, no R2 of it, or sorry, R available. Nice pick. Force out his flash.
Toshi now caught out, unfortunately. A great amount of healing from Yipsy there.
Oh, they turn back one, though.
Yeah, pulled enough time there so that Ploppy falls down as well. Committed too long onto Toshi. Man, that wasn't even like heal, like the summoner spell from Yipsy. That was just ult plus campfire. Beautiful peel there to give one back. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this Volibear build. We've got a lethal tempo Volibear as well. I'm not sure where this is going. I haven't seen really this Bard have the impact that I think it needs. This is kind of my problem with Bard if you aren't a great Bard player, and it's not a great Bard angle, which I don't think it is. You just struggle to have a ton of value, right? You struggle to, if you're not catching someone out on a side lane, like an immobile AD carry or a mobile mid laner. Might have cut out again. Maybe no. Am I still here?
You're good. You're good. Keep going.
All right. My stream froze. I was worried for a second.
You're good.
Like, man, midpoint once again. But yeah, Cypher, Bard is one of those picks where I think, hang on.
King of Spades. Oh, nice ult away, though. Oh, nice sidestep.
The dodge. Cypher's looking to get the last hit. He heard me. He just walks in blind and nearly dies. He will die. Flush out. Oh, no. Behind, he gives the portal behind, and Toshi can't get away. Then Ploppy stunned onto Itoshi. Pomek jumps on the head of Itoshi. This is a wacky team fight for sure. Toshi's still living. TP over from Haumea. Oh, sorry, no, you're right. It is the TP back from King of Space. He's here to play.
Oh, nice shove.
This is Chewy has TP, could join at any moment, and is TPing over now. This is a fight on all fronts in top lane. King of Spades, who is TP back in, back to 1 health. Shove back, finds the root, misses the root, execute from Haumea onto King of Spades here. Oh, every TP in the game used nearly. Rept obviously can use a wall to get over, and Promek was already in the top lane, but that was an all-in team fight in the top lane that, I mean, outside of the Herald getting taken here for GCSS, I don't really think there was a clear winner of that team fight.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely
just
not. I mean, to be honest, right? Zeri's still free farming. 160 ACS, 17, almost 18 minutes here.
Yeah, you're right.
Picked up quite a bit of just solo time off of that play, right? Chewy using the teleport there top. That's the only thing, by the way, that actually like turns it back around for them is Chewy being able to turn back, use the TP. So multiple TPs being used there besides Haumea's and Reps. But Herald taken for GCSS. They do find a pretty important win there. 300 gold is the gold lead, so basically just a kill difference. Something to mention about the Bard is the Bard has been playing around Ploppy very well, at the very least. Like, Ploppy's lead is essentially because of Cyphra. So it's coming down to whether or not Ploppy on this Volibear can have the late game impact. Because basically, every kill in this match, besides the 2 that Haumea has picked up for himself, is on this Volibear. So all of this gold is essentially on this volley. And typically, Volibear struggles quite a bit in the late game as King of Spades walking into Haumea, but kind of baiting him. All going to be used. R2 should be available. Haumea.
Tempered Fate finds the clone mostly. Haumea does fall down. Oh, the tower. The tower takes down King of Spades. Oh, sorry, takes down Itoshi. Sorry, Haumea. And Bard will get 1. That was wild.
I don't know why they're diving. Also, Malphite building Malignance second, I think.
No, it is AP Malphite.
Like if he just builds full tank, he just never dies. Like he has Frozen Heart for the Gnar, and if he just builds full MR, he's never dying this game. But opting for the potential Malignance pickup here, as I'm not at all happy with that. And a misplay in the bot lane.
Greedy.
They just overchase. They just overchase onto Hamea. You already force his ultimate. Just let him get out. They greed for it a little too hard, and both of them go down. So it's a 1 for 2 for GCSS. Happy to take that one. Drake in the cards now. No Cyclone is the biggest part to point out here. Because that's a big ultimate, but Yipsy getting in
Caught out
trouble.
once again. This is the thing with Enchanter supports. You don't really have any face check at all. No real vision contest. Taken down to 1 health and forced to flash away. And this is soul point for GCSS if they take it. It's Chemtech soul too, which, I mean, you know, isn't the best soul, but Gnar, Volibear, the shielding, the low health, you know, the buff from the soul, it's beneficial for those champions. And with this Malphite building AP, it will be the Malignance. I'm not convinced. Look at how much damage Hamea does.
He's just
R2,
dead.
Q.
He also doesn't have
falls
defensive
over.
boots. He has Ionians.
Yep.
He has Ionians. That's
Over
big
the
fight in
mid
the mid
lane,
lane.
actually, Cypher falls down, and Tempered Fate will keep Chewy alive, as that is the soul point collected for GCSS. Bit of a brawl, but it only ends up resulting in 1 death. What is Cypher building? Is that what is double sword on Bard?
Yeah, it's.
I know that you
build...
can kind of build anything on Bard and make it work.
I mean, it might just be rapid fire cannon. No.
Does Rapid Fire Cannon have double sword in it? Isn't it a zeal item and a slingshot?
Please, fact check us here. What is Bard building?
Maybe
you
it
get,
is.
You
Maybe
get like
it is.
2 points rewarded to you at the end of the split if you guess whatever this item is going to be for the Bard.
Yeah.
Because I have no clue. Those are
And 50
daggers
points
though.
if you tell me why.
Now that being said, Promex should be able to walk this one away. King of Spades does have ult. Is forced to flash it, but still going to be able to walk this one away. But yeah, I believe that should be RFC. I don't see a world in which it won't be RFC. But they are looking mid, as hold that thought. As forced to flash away. Urshia in trouble. He's okay. They're going to counter engage as well.
Doesn't have ult. We are nowhere near in mid right now. TP in mid as well. Chewy getting engaged on now. Uses the ult and does a ton of damage, but can't find any executes there. Meanwhile, Hamir in the bot side gets a free tower. And yeah, you lose your AD carry. Well, you know, AP carry this game, which is unfortunate, sure, but there's nothing up to take for Seth, sorry. Atacon potentially.
It is
But
Atacon.
look at the health bars. Are you allowed to do this? I don't think you are. I mean, Ploppy is a while away. TP in from King of Spades. I mean, we're all inning this player. TP from Promech as well. I don't know if you're getting the. I don't know if you're stealing the Atacon if you're GCSS, but you for sure can take the fight after. First, Hamir looks for King of Spades. Has to flash away. Tempered Fate will buy a moment. Itochi still in the pit. Cyclone hits everybody. So does the knockoff from King of Spades. And Zeri finds one. But Ploppy with the lightning finds 2. Shutdown for Rept and Atacon. It goes over. Did it even get secured?
I mean, GCSS, they find the Atacon as well. So that will be Atacon for them. They don't lose their mid-tier 1. Still, somehow, it's actually Conduit who started it up that ended up coming ahead in that fight. Pretty atypical, but they did lose the objective, which is kind of the biggest part of this. As really keep your eye on Versia here. This is the problem of their comp. They have almost no way of killing this Zeri, repped with a very questionable wall positioning here. King of Spades just flashing out to get enough time. Also, I think Tipper Fate kind of bought Atoshi a little time for himself as well. It let this Conduit squad kind of catch their breath a little bit and not throw it. But yeah, Tempered Fate there, not necessarily the best usage, but still. GCSS find the Atacon for themselves. They'll be happy with that.
A good steal.
Really good steal. But Zeri, yeah, 4-0-3 now. So working towards IE. Might even have IE finish before this next dragon, which would be the biggest point. Like, this is when Seth could just full send any fight. Is Rept actually getting in trouble? R2 available for Akali. Hamea should just find a solo kill here. Rept is just going to go down here. Nice flash.
Oh,
and just barely ekes out. He wants 1 HP. Seraph's Embrace is OP. He lives. 1 HP.
That is ridiculous. A bit lucky as well. I think Hamea could have played that a bit better. Waiting for a auto Q there at the end before R2ing. Instead, tries to get the final Q at the end, which Rept is able to flash away from. I mean, even then, Rep's probably still just flashes away. But you're able to chase it with the R2 if you leave R2 to last. Next dragon, which is Sol for GCSS, 30 seconds away. Similar look to game 1 in terms of dragons, where, you don't get any for Seth. Anakan as well. Good smite from Ploppy. It's a bit lucky to be able to pull that. Promech taking a lot of damage from this AP Malphite build. There's the ult into Rage. Goes Promech and Hamea has rotated up. No ult. But I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, this Malphite literally can't move. He is permanently stuck in the corner, getting boxed to death by this. Is he a dinosaur? What even is Nah? A Yordle, but he's just an ancient Yordle. Is that what he is?
Yeah, he's the missing link Yordle, Baron getting started up for their soul, so they don't necessarily have the best burn with this, but they are still getting it down to almost half HP now. No Malphite as well. Opting to use his ult to try and kill Promech at 3/4 HP was weird, but here's the engage to Beto.
And Toshi, first target, instantly takes down Hamea. And Promech goes into rage form. Cypher's portaling out. This disconnect between the fight is too much. Tempered Fate will mean a disengage. I was thinking, Ozzy, when you see Seth on the wave in mid as Bard, I mean, you can ult them then. You can ult them in the engage and turn. But instead, this is what I'm talking about with the Bard. The Tempered Fate, yeah, okay, great. It allows your team to get out. But is that really what you want to be picking it for? It peeled your team away from an engage. That's every support. You're not really getting the value from the Bard that you're hoping to get. You lose Baron now for GCSS. Give up the Soul. Give Soul over, but you don't get Soul. Instead, you try to trade the Baron. And you're right. With a comp like this, Akali Mel, this is not a shred comp at all for objectives. You aren't in a position to make a call like that. You need to take the fight. That's the only chance you have. Again, the Atacam was lucky. It was a steal from Ploppy. I mean, maybe it was a great, it was a skill diff. But to be honest, fighting is really the only thing GCSS can do. They have decent side lane.
Chewy
Caught completely by himself. Ults, but it's not enough. This Zeri is completely unleashed. 3 items. Has the anti-heal as well, building into that mortal reminder. Rept caught out here. Nice. Max range boulder toss.
Yeah, also, King of Spades getting caught out on the top side by Hamea as well. This is kind of the problem with Malignant's Malphite, is you have your ult up more often, but Temper Fate going to be used to at least stall them out here. There is a flank ward potentially if they want to use it for Hamea or Promech, but will not choose to do so.
I mean, you're using such a strong support ult for what?
Yeah, I know. They stalled out the tower, but nothing came of it. I thought they were going to try and stall it out. Oh, they just barely done it.
It didn't hit. The vision plant didn't see. Popsy caught out. The vision plant wasn't good enough. 1 health. The shield will get him out. Flash over. And Itachi
he's
moving forward. Can't find the last hit. Versia doesn't have ult available. I think it missed, but he also flashed forward. Caught out. Where's the dash?
This is not good.
This is a huge mistake. This is a huge mistake. Zeri shut down. 1 Baron off. Hamea moving forward as the Shirelias had a Yipsy to try to get remaining members of Seth out. But Aussie, a humongous throw. With 50 seconds of Baron left, it's gone.
Yeah, Hamea also still on the chase here. Not going to find anything, but massive mistake, as you mentioned. Now, if you're gonna make a mistake like that, the best time is in between both objectives. So, at the very
True.
least, it's not gonna be a very costly mistake for Conduit. Because I will point out, right, if Versia does die, I fear for Conduit. If they can ever find a fight where Versia is just dead instantly, Conduit has not been, like, the rest of their squad is not playing that well, realistically. Right, this Malphite is still getting solo killed by Akali in the side lane.
What's he building into now?
Should be building. Is this Jack Show or Unending Despair? Might be Jack Show.
Sure, yeah.
Despair, but
Unending Despair has the shield thing, whatever that's called. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's Aegis. But I just don't understand what Malphite is building here. This is just a weird, like, you have no reason to build this way at all because it just like allowing yourself to get perma picked. The boomerang throw not gonna do too much there, but I just cannot happen. Like, I just can't believe that Conduit are in this position even after, like, some of their mistakes, right? Like, it's just the fact that Zeri is literally completely 1v9ing the game. It's so hard for GCSS to find any positive play. And now that the Drake and the Baron are, like, off tempo from each other, they never have to worry about potentially giving over the Baron to try and play this Drake. But Ploppy, still, Versia playing very far forward here. Does need to be mindful, no flash, no barrier. Obviously, team is kind of baiting as Ploppy not going to take too much damage from Versia just yet. As they are going to lose the positioning in the river here for GCSS. Looks like they're just going to try to play for this mid tower. As Promech pushing in bot wave as well. Talia going to recall. Something about Rep's play on Talia this game is I don't think his Weaver's Ball has done almost anything this game, which is a big point. King of Spades getting very low. Why are you fighting like this? Doesn't even ult away in time. He's just dead.
The team left him. They all base to defend the towers and topside. And not only this Zeri, you know, is completely 1v9 in the game. She doesn't have cleanse. And no Mikhails from Milio. I mean, I know that obviously Milio has ult, but if you land the CC well enough, this Zeri is just dead instantly, but they can't land it at all bot side. Hitoshi looking to find a solo kill and will do it on the Promech.
Saves the tower.
This is a scrappy game all over. Ceph are slowly tightening their grip on this game. The Zeri is nearly full build, obviously. Still needs a full item after this Grievous Wounds. The Mortal Reminder, that's the name. I imagine it's going to be... I would even... Yeah, I would imagine... Could go a Bloodthirster, could go like a GA if you really wanted to. I think GA is not bad here. You know, you're in a position where you are the carry. We'll have to see what he goes. Great boots first.
Personally, I think a Hex Drinker would actually be very good. Because it prevents you from getting executed from Akali. It prevents you, like, they have so much magic damage on the side of GCSS that the Hex Drinker will, like Bob Malmortius will help you out so much. But that being said, still, Malphite still trying to act like he's building correctly and brawl the Gnar when Gnar is just going to completely wreck him. Has the Hull Breaker, so very good at killing things like that. Cypher just going to be slowing them up. Chewy, I mean, this top tower is 1 HP, so Toshi's just going to go hit this one real quick. Pick this one up, but Chewy's caught out.
Chewy is caught out, but is Cypher the one getting turned on instead? So squishy on this
Tempered
Fate. Immune everything, but Versia, the meat grinder, he's in ult and no one can stop him at all. Promech doesn't even seem like he cares about this Zeri at all. Moving forward, flash forward as well. Versia continuing. There's a flash in from
oh my goodness,
Mia.
it's melted.
Try to do anything, a double kill. I mean, Promech walks forward there. Versia is standing to the side, no flash, no barrier, and still everyone's just kind of like, I mean, if we don't look at the Zeri, she's not there.
Yeah, just the problem is their draft. They cannot find a way onto Zeri unless Zeri completely decides to just do what happened the one death she's had this match. go too far forward by herself, just get stunned up. But when her team's playing with her, this is going to be the game here, almost certainly, for Conduit. And somehow, they bounce back after a bad game 1. They were a little shaky in game 2, but Versia, with a masterclass on the Zeri, take this game 3 and take their first series win in an underdog matchup. A scrappy one to say the least, but they get it done.
Just in here, I just want to let you know that that item that was being built by Bard was not in fact RFC. See, Ozzy, you weren't thinking, like, what it actually was Wit's End. Like, genius idea. Not only was it Wit's End that got one fight play, he dies there at the top lane fight and then sells Wit's End for redemption to then not use it at all because the game's over. I'll let you guys, let everyone just sit with that for a moment and think about, you know, maybe why GCS wasn't able to win that game.
You know, there were a lot of problems here. The Bard could have been one of them. I think they got to go off to a good start, but still, at some point, comp differences will start to matter. That point was definitely this game. Just no answer. Like, you're completely depending, right, in their mind. Like, the only thing I can think of is they're completely depending on how Maya just, like, one-shotting Zeri somehow, right? Like, that's the only thing they're banking on realistically this game. And how Maya is just not going to be able to be given those, like, angles, right? The Talio was so good into it. Obviously, Rept still kind of not doing so great the series, but like again, I think realistically for Rept, I want to see him step into a more roam role. You're playing champions that are good at roaming, but you aren't roaming at all. You're not getting any like map presence with your characters that are great at generating map presence for your team. But yeah, the problem here is just their draft for GCSS just made it basically unwinnable. Zeri got the free farm the entire game because of Mel APC.
Yep.
They had no answer to it in the late game because, like, imagine if Volley was just Vi. It's a completely different story.
That's what I was thinking. Vi Nautilus. Just go Vi Nautilus and then some kind of, like, I'm so shocked as to why, like, lower divisions don't play Varus. I don't get it. It's not a hard champion to play. Poke Varus is super easy. It's just positioning. And if you play something like Jhin, it's the same thing. Like, it just is. It's not like, okay, if you're in, you know, pro play, it's not, but no one here is. It functions very similarly. You smash lane against Zeri if you're something like that. I would, like, that's the thing. With these drafts, drafting comfort is great, you know, and I understand it's a game 3 in Fearless, and it's tough. It's tough, but at a point, Fearless is out for long enough that at what point do you start saying you can't have weak god pools anymore? Sorry, champion pools anymore. You can't, you know, just not play certain things, right? I mean, maybe for Rept, maybe Galio is a good look. I know that it's still a roaming mid, which, you know, maybe a playstyle that he needs to work on, but it's a setup mid, right? Supporty, that kind of support mid style seems to really work for them. But, you know, again, like, you pull out the Bard, it doesn't look great. You pull out the Malphite, it doesn't look great at all, even though, I mean, you know, they win. But yeah, I think expanding champion pools is something that's important. But yeah, specifically for this area, like, you have to draft around shutting it down, identifying what the enemy comp's goal is, and countering that in your own draft.
Yeah, also, right, Conduit. I mean, the biggest highlight for this entire series is just Versia, right? Like, even on the Ash game, didn't put out like if Versia like didn't have that much damage on the Ash, right? But still set up so many fantastic plays in the early portions of the game, and even like the biggest arrow for me that basically solidified where they were going to be is they started throwing a little bit. They find Versia on a paranoia, but the enchanted crystal arrow shuts down the ultimate being able to like dash, the Nocturne being able to dash on top of him in time. So he buys so much time for himself, and it allows them to win the team fight. That Versia for me is just a real highlight for this Conduit squad. Again, right? I think Rept For me, realistically, I really want reps. If you're going to play these roaming style mids or these setup style mids, you have to be more comfortable of moving out of the lane. We did see it a little bit there, kind of in the mid game from Talia, but you have Weaver's Wall. He did not use it almost at all this entire match, and that's something that's such a big tool. Used to try and cut people off. Obviously, right there at the end, they had a fantastic cutoff wall, but still, I want to see more out of Rep. If you're going to like play these like champions that are great at roaming, tap into that potential. Don't just get shoved in. Don't just let them make the plays, because that's a very reactive play style. And when you're playing champions that are good at proactivity but not necessarily good at reactivity, you need to think about that in the future. But Conduit, they bounce back. They find their first series win. They're tied 1-1. Both GCSS are 1-1 as well off of this loss. And they're proving, being the underdogs, being at a skill disadvantage, it doesn't matter. They can still easily take the series if they want to. Conduit win 2-1.
It also shows, even when you are ahead, whether it's, the first few weeks and just some placements, or whether it's a big rank disparity, you still have to remain focused or you will lose games. You can't, I'm not saying trolling in like a accusing way, but you can't relax. You still need to play real League of Legends. You still need to come at it with your best drafts. I mean, there could be some experimenting there. Happy to give the set if the games don't go their way. I know that teams can do that. We would rather get the practice in on these drafts here. But at the end of the day, Seth taking away the 2-1. A brilliant performance from them. I'm keen to see these two teams moving forward, or, you seeing these teams moving forward at least. That'll be all from us over at Titan headquarters here. My name has been Jay Better, and I have been joined by Ozzy and some internet disconnects the whole way through. So my apologies for that. But hope everyone in NA has a good night, get some sleep, and I will see you guys next time. Enjoy.
Bye, everyone.